Welcome back, everybody, to the XBA. We have finally reached the off-season's conclusion. And what a way to start off the off-season conclusion video with some big news. This is some huge news for the XBA. It's expanding. Oh, whoa, wait, whoa. How is it expanding?
After a very successful first year, the XBA has decided to create a minor league system, a developmental league similar to the G League, but this will be a lot of fun. We got more teams. We actually made more teams, more jerseys. We can lay the ground rules here. So we have 18 new teams here. Get excited. Because we have 36 pro teams, 18 minor league teams, 2 pro teams will share. They'll have to learn how to play nice, but they are going to share a minor league team together, and they can transfer people back and forth. They own the rights to at least 5 players on these teams. So I don't know, I'm excited to show this off. So let's just go through the league really quick and show you guys what we got here. Let's start in the Northeast and work our way down. So in Connecticut, we have the Hartford Hogs, sea green, dark navy blue, and pink. Wow.
Interesting color combo.
So the New York Neon and the New York City Slickers work with the Hartford Hogs, so they will own the rights for 5 players each. And in Ontario, we have the Ottawa Coalition. Their rights belong to Montreal and Boston, so the Gothiques and Pilgrims will be sending players to Ottawa. Going down to Virginia, in Richmond, we have the Virginia Voltage. Rights for those players belong to the Washington Founders and the Carolina Fly Guys.
Next up, the Memphis Blue Stars. They will be represented by the Nashville Tempo and the Atlanta Olympians. And one of my personal favorites, the Cincinnati Chili Dogs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I had to make sure I got this right when we commissioned this logo. He's eating chili,
Yes.
which has noodles in it.
It's got to be that.
So if you guys ask me, he's not eating Italian spaghetti. It's the chili sauce with the noodles. That's important. Cincinnati chili is different than like Michigan chili. It's different.
For sure. They will be represented, guys, by the Kentucky Colliers and Columbus Basket Hounds.
Beautiful. So now moving on to Fort Wayne, Indiana gets basketball.
Oh my God. It might not be
minor.
XBA primary, but it's still basketball in Indiana.
Minor league basketball. Fort Wayne has a history with basketball. We know this. The Fort Wayne Ninjas. However, it's completely random, makes no sense, but I want to make a Ninjas team, and they landed in Fort Wayne.
Now, keep in mind, guys, if you still want an Indiana Pro XBA team, obviously the purge after year number 2 is still going to be wide open. But for the meantime, we can represent Indiana in a little bit of a minor league way.
True. So just keep this in mind. We see on the screen here, XBA officials have been talking with Toronto, Minneapolis, and Indianapolis. These cities are more, we feel like, destinations for the pro teams. So we're not going to put the minor league team there. Keep that in mind. Fort Wayne is affiliated with the Detroit Power and the Pittsburgh Paladins.
Also keep in mind, because this is the minor leagues, it's kind of like minor league baseball where things get a little bit goofy.
And speaking of goofy, we have the Iowa Monks. Iowa Monks. Okay, now there's a reason behind this name. The Des Moines River in French, it means of the monks.
Of the monks.
So according to Wikipedia,
You guys probably didn't think you were getting a history lesson in today's XBA off-season video,
I'm
did you?
explaining it because it's a weird name. It's not any weirder than the San Diego Padres, so don't at me.
True.
Iowa Monks affiliated with the Wisconsin Bandits and BC Chicago. We have the Atlantic City Action. The XBA
Ooh.
permits gambling.
Yeah, a lot of FanDuel probably a little bit going on.
We have the Las Vegas Jacks. Now we have the Atlantic City Action. Only gamble responsibly and if you're over
18.
25. Atlantic City affiliated with the Baltimore Cannons and Philadelphia Bruisers. Now going to Mobile, we have the Alabama Red Bellies.
One of your favorite teams.
Wow.
One of your favorite names.
What is a red belly? It's a type of turtle that is the state reptile of Alabama, and they are only found in the Gulf region of Alabama, so around Mobile. How about this? They are affiliated with the Jacksonville Jump and the New Orleans Neptunes.
And one of my personal favorites outside of the Blue Stars, guys, is the Orlando Voyagers. These are really cool unis, really cool court. I love this
Pretty
team.
wild court.
Love this team. Represented represented by the Tampa Bay Sting and the Miami Night Owls.
Okay, moving to the Western Conference, we have the Albuquerque Venom, who are affiliated with the Denver Summit and the El Paso Peppers. So this team, interesting color scheme.
I dig it.
Jerseys are a little interesting. In San Antonio, we have the River Cats, who are affiliated with the Houston Lawmen and the Dallas Barons. So San Antonio gets their basketball team back slightly.
My favorite team from the western part of the country here, the OKC, or in other words, Oklahoma City, the Buzzards.
Buzzards.
Yeah, that gold, the dark blue, and white, represented by, of course, the St. Louis Arrows and the Kansas City Stampede. Next up, the Tucson Rumble Squad, represented by the Phoenix Gila Monsters, aka Monsters, and the San Diego Cyclones. This is a very step on the wild side a little bit uniform.
Yes, it's true. They are pretty crazy. I was going to call them the Rumbleweeds, but there is a professional soccer team. They beat me to it.
All right.
2019, there's a team out there called the Rumbleweeds.
We were too slow.
So I was thinking like posse, rumble. I was just like
Rumble Posse?
Yeah, so he's like a demonic
Tumbleweed.
He's like a demonic outlaw tumbleweed.
It's great.
It's crazy.
It's great.
Now moving to Salt Lake City, Utah. Basketball's back in Utah. The Salt Lake City Shakers. Salt, baby.
This is great. This was actually one of the teams, along with the River Cats, that you guys saw in one of the other videos that were blacked out. You couldn't tell what they were.
It was a big
there
hint.
they go. That was a little bit of a hint there.
Salt Lake affiliated with SoCal and Las Vegas.
Next up, we got the Boise Rams. It's kind of more of a simpler look, kind of like the Hartford Hogs. You got to have a few simpleton teams in there every once in a while, and Boise is kind of that squad. They're represented by the California Dragons and the Alaska Chill.
And in Portland, the Portland Hoopsters, baby. Yes, Portland, along with Seattle and Austin, the hipster capital of the world. Portland Hoopsters, affiliated with the Seattle Martians and the Vancouver Vortex.
And if you guys don't know what that logo is, it is a coffee cup.
And the final team is Central Cal United. So again, we are ripping off of soccer naming conventions because it's going to be the hip thing in a couple of years. I guarantee it. Central Cal, there's a basketball team in Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne United. So it's there. It's coming.
It's international. It's worldwide.
Central Cal United, this team's weird. They're like a traveling home team. So they share their home city with Sacramento, Modesto, and Fresno. They play their home games at 3 different locations.
It's very interesting.
Because I couldn't decide which city to put them in. I liked all 3 options.
I guess that's why you call them the United.
Exactly. So they are affiliated with the San Jose Cyborgs and the Los Angeles Leopards.
So that is it for the XBA2 reveal, guys. But on this screen, we have a couple things to talk about because XBA2 teams will be playing against XBA3 teams that are filled with really the worst players you could
There's an
possibly
XBA3, but we don't like to talk about XBA3.
No. They're kind of the redheaded stepchild thing out there. So
They're actually like a glorified semi-pro traveling troupe of basketball players that get paid by the game and do it to test themselves and have fun with it.
Yes.
I mean, they're decent. They're pretty good. Okay, they're maybe like the Taiwanese basketball or the Canadian basketball. That's like their tier. Okay.
And the reason for this is because when you're in a save file, we only have 18 XBA2 teams. You got to fill the 18 other spots with something. Hopefully, in order to not affect the standings, we purposefully made these teams bad so that the XBA2 teams would kind of just get an easy W. So they do affect the standings, but we just wanted to make that disclaimer that there are other teams that are going to be involved.
This is like in college basketball. A D1 team can play a D2 team. The win goes towards their win-loss record, but they do play in separate divisions.
Right.
So the XBA2 and the XBA3 are separate things. Although the XBA3 is not going to be very competitive, so they're not going to make the playoff.
And also, guys, keep in mind as the part of the big surprise here and part of the big reveal. Yes, to answer everybody's question, yes, 100%. We will be having gameplay, CPU versus CPU gameplay of our XBA2 teams. These are going to come into the package package of about a 15-20 minute little farm, down in the farm type of report for XBA, and we're not going to attach them to the actual XBA uploads. I think that it just gets way too long.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see Alabama. I want Alabama and Tucson.
Go Orlando and go Oklahoma City.
Let's go over the postseason format before we just really quick. The top 4 teams in each division will square off and play in a playoff. So we'll show you guys that as well. So that'll be it for XBA2. And the fun thing about XBA2 for me is that you guys know where to find our stuff. Look up gamertag GoldGlover9 as seen on the screen. You guys can download our teams for fun. So if you guys want to do your own XBA, if you're still into that at this point, go ahead and use one of the XBA2 teams if there's an XBA Pro team that you don't like. That's what's fun about making 18 more freaking teams. So you guys see on the screen here the Hartford Hogs. They are affiliated with the City Slickers and the Neon. So the bottom 2 players on the official XBA roster who are listed as reserves, they are in XBA2. So on our other myleague file, the City Slickers have Edmund Sumner and Brokoff on reserve. They are sent down to Hartford. And for the Neon, they have Luke Baamute and Courtney Lee on call. But they can call up any one of their guys at any time they need them. So in case there's an injury, things like that, bound to happen, they got these guys to fall back on. So we have Isaac Bonga there with the Neon. That's interesting. So there's a guy out there that's obsessed with Isaac Bonga. It was back in October. They kept asking me what team Isaac Bonga is on. Well, he's on the Hartford Hogs. So these rosters, they're kind of weird because there's a mix of kind of older NBA veterans that haven't really latched on. Some of your custom guys are in the league because they are probably better served picking up minutes here versus getting, 2 minutes a night off the bench. So their pro clubs feel like they'd be better served getting minutes. And we got some Euro guys. We got some real life G Leaguers. So this is a pretty funny mix of players. Like this dude, Nikola Milutinov, is in the Euro League, but he's trying out.
All right, let's get into the rest of the rosters.
All right, before we do, though, we're going to see a couple people like Daniel Hamilton of UConn. So UConn, Hartford, some of your hometown favorites going to be represented. Ben Bentil, Providence.
The Oklahoma City Buzzards with the starting point guard of EJ Sanders. He's a 66 overall, but because we own the rights of the Oklahoma City Buzzards, we are saying, EJ, you got to get some work here, buddy. We can't allow a 66 overall player to just sit the bench. You gotta get some minutes down in XBA2.
He's got to get better. So you got Gary Trent also with St. Louis.
Yep.
And a couple of these players there. Tyson Chandler, he's just biding his time. He might be done. But this dude's interesting out of Kentucky. Gabriel, Blossom Game.
It's almost like you planned this. Jimmer Fredette in Utah.
I think he's finally home. Jimmer's home. This is a pretty veteran lineup here for Salt Lake. A lot of guys have been around the league for a while. We see at the bottom Kyle Collinsworth.
No, another a BYU product.
Okay.
Oh, Marcus Smith.
Marcus Smith. We're going to get him his minutes. We also have Joel Balamboy out of Weber State. Oh my God.
I tell you what.
Brandon Davies.
Let's talk about the Orlando Voyagers. Elia Kobo from the Tampa Bay Sting.
Yes, out of France, round 2 pick formerly. Shane Larkin back from the Miami product. Shane Larkin.
They just couldn't fit some of these guys on some of these XBA rosters. No. Goga Batadze actually contributed quite a bit in the playoffs, but he's going to get some work down in XBA too. I would imagine he would get called up at some point.
Probably at some point. They had Howard and Ibaka, so they felt like Batadze wasn't getting a lot of minutes. So he's going to start there. They have this dude out of EuroLeague, Bojan Dublovic. He belongs to Miami. So pretty fun team here in Orlando. Okay, for the San Antonio River Cats, notice how the San Antonio Riverwalk, and they have these umbrellas, the multicolored umbrellas.
Yeah.
And they always alternate in the same pattern on his hat.
Yeah.
Interesting. Trevor Kelly, custom guy out of Abilene Christian.
I love Trevor Kelly. I wanted to draft this guy. If I couldn't get Tashi, I wanted to draft this guy. He's a gamer. I love this dude.
A- 3 points scoring, so.
You watch. He's going to be an XBA2 baller.
So yeah, he's with the Barons. Dylan Windler is in there. Tyler Lydon. This team's going to be able to shoot. Veteran EuroLeague guy Kyle Hines. So this is an interesting team. Ariza took a plummet from last year. So Ariza's trying to work his way back into the pros. 16 years he's been in the pros. Maddox Denim going to log some minutes here as well. And we have Tolliver Burton. This dude I included because he's the best Polish player, apparently, outside of like Gortat or somebody. But I looked this dude up. So I'm trying to give Sobczak a playing partner from Poland.
I see what you're doing there.
Might come in handy down the road. Who is this?
Whoa, Greg Oden.
Greg Oden.
He's back.
Greg Oden's trying to make a comeback.
He's getting in on the action. The XBA loves to promote its players, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We might not pay them a lot, but we love to promote you and allow you to create your own brand.
Sell tickets. Albuquerque Venom, very strange team. Very weird look. I'm looking at the guys. They got Taco Fall, okay, with the El Paso Peppers. This dude, Marcus Erickson's a Euro guy. They got Zauki. Nick Young, a bit older. Kyle Guy trying to stick around. This dude I added. He tried out with the Mavericks and he had a couple like injury setbacks, but he's like one of the China's best players. Ding Yan Huang. So a strange team going on in Albuquerque. And Charles Burns of the Denver Summit. We will be getting him his minutes. Don't worry about that.
What do you guys think about these uniforms? The Cincinnati Chili Dogs. Look at Mike Paxson from Illinois manning the point for this squad, this XBA2 squad. I love this team. You know what's funny? They got checkers.
Yeah.
Like the Dalmatian has its spots. Pretty interesting jersey design. It's almost like you did that on purpose.
If you recognize it with the Chili Dogs, there's a big Cleveland Cavaliers connection, a big Ohio connection, and a big Kentucky connection, as you'll see. You see Poitras, Mozgov, former Cavaliers, guy Deshaun Thomas, Ohio State, Andrew Harrison, Kentucky, Tavares played for the Cavs, Jody Meeks out of Kentucky, Makura went to Xavier. Okay, so Dangadell out of Louisville. All right, let's check out the Red Bellies here out of Mobile, Alabama. We got Isaiah Whitehead and Sylvester Forbes. It was tough. It was a tough call, but I'm going to let him see what he can do in the pros, and I'm sure he will be called up very soon, maybe by the end of the month. I'm going to let him get 25 minutes a game in Alabama for a couple games.
That's a tough call. I do not envy your position.
You don't agree with me?
No, I don't envy your position at all. Yeah. I really would not want to be able to make that call or to make that call.
He'll be up with Jacksonville fairly soon. Malachi Richardson, Isaiah Roby belongs to the Jump as well. Jan Vesely? Not sure. Yeah, Marshawn Brooks, Motley, Hilliard, Solomon Hill. So this is an older team. Zach Norvell trying to hang on. RJ Hunter, Georgia State fame. And we have Luke May. I almost forgot about Luke May. Check out the Fort Wayne Ninjas. If you guys remember Marcus Keene out of Central Michigan, well, last I looked up, he plays in Korea, but he's coming back. He was one of the leading scorers in the NCAA when he was rolling, so he can shoot it. Ben McLemore, Victor Claver out of Spain, Kavanaugh, John Henson.
Amari Stoudemire.
Stoudemire's playing. Stoudemire's coming back. Isaac Humphreys, Ernest Dunn. We're going to get him his minutes, 61 overall.
Hey, Kansas product, Frank Mason III. I like this team already.
Yeah, 26 years old. Got Terrence Mann, Samuel Williamson, AJ Alston going to start off in Ottawa. Montreal's got a lot of power forwards. Didn't really have a clear path to playing time. So you got Patton, Matt Thomas, Joffrey Lavergne. It's a good team. Big baby Glenn Davis.
Ooh.
Glenn Davis is playing.
I love this team already, guys. I love it.
Daquan
LSU product. There's Daquan. Yeah, Daquan the third. They got two guys with numbers in their last name.
All right. Muhammad Ali Abdurrahman. It's a lot. Check out the Boise Rams here. working with Alaska and California. Giovanni Coxum will be your starting shooting guard for the time being. We'll see if he can work his way back up there. Joe Johnson coming back. Oh, Joe Johnson, age 38. He's 38 or 39 now. He signed on with the Chill. So he's trying to win another, he's trying to win a championship at this stage. His comeback that he was trying with the Detroit Pistons last season, but it's still going. It's still going on. His comeback is still on.
Sometimes guys just can't hit the stop button because they still love the game. They want to keep going, guys.
Kevin Pangos and Kyle Wilcher. Got some Gonzaga love.
Let's talk about the Iowa Monks. These guys seem like they would be a pretty good team.
Troy Copain out of Cincinnati, Kyrie Thomas. So you remember BC Chicago traded for a bunch of veterans, right?
Yep.
With Atlanta, they swapped. And they basically got rid of Jacob Evans III to get these veterans. They got Cephalosha, Udo, and Gerald Green. And now they're all playing in Iowa because BC is now so deep.
I think it was a good strategy. They might have caught some wind on that XBA2 was coming, and they wanted to be like, guys, we need to fulfill a farm team. We need to get some guys with some minutes in case of injuries happen. We could be super deep.
Well, they're probably like, hey, you guys stay warm and toasty down there in Des Moines, okay? And then we'll call you up when we need you. I think that's their logic. Tony Bradley, Tyler Dorsey, Andrew Bogut, still hanging around.
He looks rough.
There's Anton Seeger. Seeger's going to pick up a lot of minutes here for Iowa. We're going to see what he can do because some people are calling him a bust already, and he hasn't even played yet. Bandits were desperate at power forward. They really needed the guy.
Yep, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Let's take one more look at these outrageous uniforms here real quick for the Rumble Squad, guys.
Well, this team is affiliated with the Cyclones, and the Cyclones have an overload at the power forward position. So they have Darius Baisley, Caleb Swanigan, and Ragon Bender, and they're all starting.
Yeah, they literally have 3 power forwards in one big man spot. We got small forward, center, and power forward. 3 power forwards.
How about Isaiah Cousins out of Oklahoma?
God.
Tariq Owens, Texas Tech. Derek Barr, gonna get him his minutes. Kevin Banks, also gonna get him his minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on record and say this team is probably not gonna perform super well in the XBA2. So playing in 3 different cities, the Central Cal United, like we talked about, literally united on all fronts. I mean, this team looks like it's pretty solid. They got Stanislav Floka, who's continuing to wear the green and white from his Panathinaikos team out in Greece. But
it's a good starting point for him.
I think he's going to do well down here.
With LA already having Tice and Jackson Hayes, not too much playing time for Floka available. With the veteran Devin Harris, 37 years old. Wow. Now I feel old because I watched Devin Harris play college basketball. I remember it pretty well.
He's 5 years older than I am. Yes, I just gave you guys my age, in case you were all wondering. And due to that age, this is something I definitely am not. I'm not a hipster. And we're going to take a look at the hoopsters from Portland.
Okay, you got Tyler Eulis. Monta Ellis is trying to make a comeback and trying to play his way into the XBA. How about that? He latched down with Vancouver. Now, they're always looking for shooters, okay? But some people were thinking that Vancouver whiffed on Damian Dillard, although he can really shoot the 3.
Yes, he's one of the top 3-point shooters already in the XBA.
And the reason I say that is because Ellis might be like a bridge guy. So if they have an immediate need, maybe Ellis can step in and fill that. Svi Mikhailic, Tornike Shengelia. I want to say that's correct. Wagner. How about that?
I'm sure we'll find out in the comment section.
Zaza Pachulia, Plumlee, Gary Payton II. Of course, he's going to play for the Hoopsters in Portland. He went to Oregon State. Of course, there's Damian Dillard. So Dillard's going to play a lot here for Portland.
Look at that, man. A- in the 3-point scoring, B+ in mid, inside, like we talked about, man. D- in the inside scoring. He's going to have to work on that in XBA2. Of course, he's going to take his threes. He's going to want to show people why he should be called up and what you need me for is 3-ball shooting. but you got to get a little more well-rounded.
Absolutely. Yeah, Shayok. Oh my God, it's Anthony Bennett.
God.
Might be the biggest bust of all time. Let's take a look pretty quick at the Virginia Voltage, and if you guys notice this, Roy Hibbert. Last time I checked, he was a position coach in the NBA. He retired, and now he's a bench coach. So, pretty fun there. He's coming back. He's gonna suit it up and play, man. Bruno Versace. He'll get some minutes here for Virginia.
I'm really interested to see how Bruno is gonna do down here in XBA2.
Oh yeah. Matt Mooney, another Texas Tech guy. Tyler Hansbrough. I almost forgot about Tyler Hansbrough.
I never forgot about this guy. I've always wondered why he never made it.
Last I saw, he was playing for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, but I think he's retired now. Prince Jr. Okay, now some people are saying this one was a bust pick.
He's got a long way to go, though. I mean, you can't deny the size. It's 7'7". You can't deny the size. One of the more interesting unis out there, of course, the Atlantic City Action. You guys like these? They got cards on their uniforms for the name, for the letters.
How about that? Looking at this team here, I was looking for Hassan Saka.
Yep.
We talked about it. He's kind of raw.
He's very raw.
He'll do his time here in Atlantic City. Zach Burton will also pick up some minutes here.
I'm really surprised that he dropped all the way down to a 65. I would have thought that he would have been a little bit better.
And Andrea Bargnani. Another big-time bust, is coming back.
My Memphis Blue Stars. Unfortunately, they're not a very good XBA2 team.
You don't think so?
No, I don't like me some Memphis Blue Stars. I wish they were better.
They're big.
They got some age to them a little bit too, but Alejandro Sanchez Jr. is kind of, for me, the bright spot of this entire roster. And especially Uriah Cassell, being as young as he has definitely got a lot of talent that he's going to work on down here in XBA2. I would expect Cassell to jump in overall rating with the statistics that he's going to put up down here. Just as an example, we're going to look at XBA Florida. There's some uniform sets for them. Very simple, very basic, but you can see, guys, they're not going to stack up very well at all against an XBA2 squad when they got 70 overall players, and these guys are stuck here with high 50s.
I hope they wouldn't.
I've
been surprised before.
Yeah, and hey, you never know.
But now that this is out of the way, let's kick off free agency, because we had a lot of questions about this. XBA does free agency a little bit differently. Players have fewer rights, fewer freedom to move around to teams that they want to play with. You know, if you're a kid in dodgeball, it's not very fun. Okay, you know how you draft teams?
Yep.
The two best kids, they line everybody up, and then they each go. Pick their guy, right?
Yep.
It's not very fun if the best guys can just huddle up together and conspire to play on the best team, right?
True.
It violates what the XBA stands for. Competitive balance. So this is a funny rule here for the XBA. The top 20 free agents, as determined by the commissioner, he puts them all on a list, okay? Each team that missed the playoff can put a bid in for these players. That player gets to choose from the non-playoff teams which team he wants to go with.
In order for us to be kind of on the sidelines, not really speaking for that player, we are introducing the randomness factor with Spin the Wheel.
Wheel of Destiny.
And we will spin the freaking wheel.
So each team puts in a bid. Now, once they get their guy, that team can no longer sign one of these 20 free agents as determined by the commissioner. Now that in season 1, off-season, everybody's under contract still.
Right, there's literally almost no movement at all.
True.
But lucky for us, we do have some big names to talk about because, well, they've been playing really, really good in real-life NBA.
Yes, so according to 2K ratings, these guys popped up over the course of the winter, right? Now, these guys were dominating in the... We don't talk much about the XBL, okay? It was a competitor league that folded, but it was also a professional league that was competing with us, trying to build up from the ashes of the NBA. However, it was not very successful. These players, though,
Of course, not as successful as the XBA.
the XBA took over the market. So these guys were the best players in that league. We have Chris Silva entering the mix, Chris Boucher, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Devontae Graham. And we also added Chris Clemens in for good measure from the Houston Rockets. 2K added some of these guys after the initial season roster that we ended up using. So they will be assigned their free agency.
But where are they going to go? And that's the question. And that is why we are introducing the spin the wheel, guys. We're going to go ahead and see where Devontae Graham is coming up. And the teams, you can see it on the board here. There they are. They're listed right there, guys. Don't know why the LA Leopards are red. Everybody else is white, yellow, and blue.
Not sure, but these teams all put in a bid for Devontae Graham. So let's spin that wheel.
Yes. What are the fates going to decide?
All of these teams could really use a really good point guard. So here we go. It is going to... Oh, my God.
BC Chicago. They're getting so lucky right now. They secure a lottery pick, and they get Devontae Graham services.
He's at 80 overall, and they were probably the team that needed them the least.
Here we are with Kendrick Nunn. Let's take a look and see what the wheel is going to decide.
So after losing out on Devontae Graham, we got teams like the Jacks and the Barons re-entering the Kendrick Nunn sweepstakes. SoCal, Detroit, Wisconsin, Phoenix, San Diego, Vancouver, Columbus, and Boston. Supernovas.
Go,
Basket Hounds.
Yeah.
They're just getting younger.
I love it. I love the Basket Hounds.
What in the world? Wow, so there are a lot of teams that could have used him. Maybe San Diego would have been a good landing spot, but they did not get lucky enough here. So Kendrick Nunn going to the Basket Hounds.
Maybe even the Pilgrims could have used him too.
Duncan Robinson. How about Duncan Robinson? Small forward, decent shooter. We got Vegas throwing in again. New York City, SoCal, Kentucky, Detroit, Houston, Wisconsin, Phoenix, Boston, and Pittsburgh.
I think Kentucky is the one team that Duncan Robinson should probably want to go to.
SoCal. I think so. SoCal needs that small forward.
Where is he going to land, guys? Where? Oh, I'm just going to... come on.
It's Detroit.
I was going to say Kentucky right there.
He's coming home.
Yeah, come on over, man, from Big Blue.
Okay, Chris Boucher, power forward / center. We got the Jacks again. God, the Jacks got to get lucky here at some point, right?
You would think. They are from LA, Las Vegas.
Got Barons, Colliers, Lawmen, Bandits, Monsters, Bruisers, Paladins, Vortex, and Pilgrims.
Boucher just fits Philly, man. That hard-working thing he's got going.
I feel like Phoenix needs a guy like Boucher, and perhaps... Oh, the Jacks need a true power forward. They have Portis right now, eating up a lot of minutes there.
Chris Boucher, where you gonna go? Where you gonna stay, Chris Boucher?
Oh boy, here we go. Pittsburgh. No.
Look at
Wisconsin.
that.
I'm off a little bit.
Look at that.
The Bandits.
Philly was off by 2, dang
I
it.
failed to mention this, but the Bandits might be the most desperate team for power forward now that I think about it. They got Larry Nance and James Johnson. They drafted Seager. They were looking for the answer at that position. Seager's not the answer today. Maybe later. But Boucher is big. That team, he could put them in contention, man.
We'll have to see. We'll find out.
Okay, we got Chris Clemens, shooting guard. Kind of a high-scoring potential. Seems like a high-ceiling kind of guy, as he scored a lot of points in college. You got Vegas again. You got SoCal again. Dallas again. Houston, Phoenix, San Diego, California, Washington, LA, and Boston. So let's get this one.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams fit for Chris Clemens. Let's see where he is going to go. Oh, Wheel of Destiny. It's going to go to the Houston Lawmen. God, the Jacks are getting kind of screwed here. They were off by 1.
Jacks could have used him.
They really could have.
Quite a bit.
So finally, we have Chris Silva, a small forward, power forward. Where is he going to end up?
Well, he's got the least hype around him out of these free agents, but he could be a nice bench piece. So you got the Jacks again, SoCal, California, Philly, Pittsburgh, New York City Slickers. You got Colliers, Founders, Pilgrims, and Vortex.
It's going to be the Boston Pilgrims. So Boston,
right.
Interesting spot here for Chris Silva. Not the free agent that's going to wow anybody, of course. But again, they got a little bit younger, I guess I'd like to think.
Yeah. So I hope you guys can see, like, maybe how this could be a little bit more fun in the future. Like, I had fun figuring out where people were going to go.
Yeah, just spinning the wheel, leaving it up to chance.
Yeah, so for the top 20, so once more guys start to hit free agency, they'll have an option to re-sign with their team. If they elect not to re-sign with their team, then they got to go to a non-playoff team if they're really good players.
And you know what? That even leaves to more spin the wheel options. You're going to re-sign with your team, Kevin Durant? Yes or no?
No. Oh crap, now I got to go to a loser team. So these are the things you got to think about.
Yep.
Or you could go to a team like Chicago, who barely missed the playoffs, already has a good roster. You know how this thing will go. So I like it. I think it'll keep competitive balance in the mix. And it only applies to the top 20 guys. So the rest of the free agent pool will be automated. But the top 20 guys are going to get basically assigned to non-playoff teams. So I think that's the fun thing and what sets the XBA apart. Because we want fans of all stripes to have hope. If you have nothing else, at least you have hope.
We got to take a look at some of the 2K updates to specific players and players that have been playing really well compared to what we had when the roster started back in October.
Yeah, so these were the biggest jumpers in terms of their initial rating on our roster, which was, like you said, the default or the very early season roster versus what we see now in March. We copied the player DNA off of the latest 2K roster and loaded it into the appropriate player. So guys that are playing better in real life, they're now better in the XBA. So we have Trae Young moving from 88 to 90. Belitza from 76 to 80. Terrence Davis was a big jumper. I didn't even remember that he was on the Kentucky roster as a shooting guard, but he goes up from 72 to 79.
That's pretty significant when we're talking about what the Colliers are going to bring to the table next season. That's pretty big time. Then we have Bam Adebayo going from an 82 to an 86. It's pretty significant. And then the Cyborgs actually have quite a bit of guys that are getting upgrades. Actually, the most when we look at Kansas City and San Diego, all three of these teams have 3 guys each.
Yeah, the rich get richer with San Diego. Van Vliet from 77 to 83, Christian Wood 74 to 78, and Brandon Clark having a big rookie year, 76 to 81.
Jaylen Brown for the Bandits. The Bandits are really going to need Jaylen Brown to step up this season and do really well. So he is actually going from an 82 to an 86. Ja Morant, let's talk about that KC Stampede team. Like, it's just insane. Like, look at this. Their top 3 guys got better and significantly better. Ja Morant going from an 81 to an 84. Luka from an 89 to a 96. Now, we expected this. We expected this. And I think the year 1 rosters kind of cost Kansas City a little bit. Had they attributed Luka Doncic correctly, we might be talking about a different XBA champion.
Yeah, but nobody saw him becoming quite this good. Keep in mind, too, this is a post-progression from year 1 XBA.
And then we have Whiteside going from 82 to 87. That's another big jump for Kansas City. So watch out for Kansas City.
I always thought Whiteside's rating was a little weird. I guess he had a down 2018-19 season or something like that. But I felt like 2K was selling him short this October. But he's having a good season, up to an 87 now. So Rashawn Holmes for Washington. That one's big. They've had an issue at power forward. He goes 75-81. San Diego got pretty good. I mean, their younger guys got a little bit better. Michael Carter-Williams up to 77. Spellman also up to 77, and then OG Anunoby goes to an 80, so that's good. Dante DiVincenzo goes from 74-79. Big win for the Jacks, right?
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of players.
And we have another page. Matisse Thybulle goes from 75-78. Kelly Oubre makes a jump, 77 to 80.
How about Brandon Ingram for Kentucky? So Kentucky actually gets 2. We didn't actually put him on the first page, but he goes to 82 to 86. Washington gets another player too. That's House. He's going to move from a 73 to a 76. And Davis Bertans going from a 76 to an 80. Now that's big. Anytime you get the +4 and above, that's pretty big time.
Moxie Kleber was kind of a throwaway trade there. It was one of the suggestions, but he's having a big year with the Mavericks, so he goes from 74 to 79. So good move by Kleber. Eric Paschall from 74-79. Paschall having a good year as well. PJ Washington went from 75 to 78. So a big jump there for the young power forward. And that'll do it for the 2K updates.
Last but not least, before we say goodbye to the offseason and finally get into year number 2's regular season, we're going to take a look and make our sort of season predictions for year number 2.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see how like the shot clock and the foul out rule that we talked about in the first offseason video, how that affects things, and we know where the free agents went and what the player upgrades look like. So let's talk about who we like this season, who we think is going to do well. Let us know who you guys think is going to play pretty well. This was last year's standings. Phoenix tied for 8th. Vancouver missed by 1. Leopards were 500, but they're looking like a team on the rise. Be fun to see if any one of these teams at the bottom can kind of rise up and surprise some people. Like Dallas would be my candidate personally.
If they don't, they're going to be up for the purge. They're going to be up for relocation.
Yeah, and if you guys don't remember the rules for that, it's if you miss the playoffs for both seasons, then you're eligible via fan vote to get relocated. So get into the playoffs, get in, win, get in, you're safe, okay? So that would eliminate it. Eliminate all doubt. Take it out of the fans' hands. If you guys want to survive, play better, right?
Yep. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference as well. Very, 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 very close race all the way throughout. The 8th seed, what was the number here? There were a bunch of teams battling for the 8th seed.
Well, Pittsburgh was the odd team out.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many teams here were 38 and 32. Like, we're talking about X amount of teams that were battling for like 3rd or 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. Like, it was crazy the amount of tightness that was the Eastern Conference all year long.
And these guys missed out by 1 game. So who knows how these tiebreakers would have worked. I tried to figure it out on my own. It was pretty complicated, but
way too much.
Atlanta with Sobchak, you get Wall and Butler healthy. They could be something to deal with.
And with the younger crew that they basically promoted, they had gotten rid of all of their older guys to BC Chicago. They made a run. They made a run near the ending of the year. And like you said, the Sobchak edition might help them get over the top.
Yeah, Kentucky would be, if I had to pick one team from the very bottom here, Kentucky would be that team. So maybe get into that 8th spot. I mean, just looking at last year, I think this season is going to be the revenge of the Central Division because I'm looking at Chicago, Columbus, and Detroit. I'm picking all 3 of these teams to make the playoffs this year. Nashville made it. Nashville was the representative in the Central last year. Now they're in the Western Conference. Let's just talk really quickly about our picks to win this year. I personally am going to go with the Cyborgs. I think after getting that first round exit last season, getting knocked off by Denver, I mean, they got somebody like Anthony Edwards coming up. He's on the rise. You have Van Vliet, George Love, Steven Adams. So I think it's one of the strongest starting 5s.
It's a very strong starting 5. They got a really solid bench as well with Christian Wood, Clark, Zaire Smith can pull his own. KCP, pretty solid as well. It's a good team. I'm not going to go that far to say San Jose is going to be XBA championship material.
Okay.
But I see what you're getting at.
This will be my pick out of the East. I'm going to go with Detroit. I just got a really good feeling about these guys this year. Like Kyle Lowry, the heart of the champion, Bradley Beal. Bielsa did get better. So, and with the addition of Duncan Robinson, this team looks pretty strong. You think they got enough small forwards? I think they're set at that position.
Yeah, Detroit's going to be pretty solid. I don't know. It could go either way. Out in the Eastern Conference, there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts out there. It depends on if one of these guys get hurt. Obviously, injuries do play a factor in all this, but where it stands right now, yes, Detroit is a very good team, especially with Beal and Lowry. Very deep team with Cousins as well. Yeah, so out in the East, I actually like Chicago. I like BC Chicago going to be going to the finals. And when you look at this roster, yeah, some names pop out. Drew Holiday, Oladipo, Nkolo, right? These are some good players. And now the starting 5, the bottom 2 with Nkolo, Gay, that might not be wildly impressive of an NBA champion, but when you add a guy like Devontae Graham as your 6th man, plus Mitchell Robinson being as young as he is, and this bench, I think Chicago is not going to stop. Like, they're just going to put pedal to the metal in every single game, and they're coming for you, and they're not going to lay it off. They're not going to lay off.
I think they're pissed off about last year. And I think Graham got lucky. He got a good deal by going to a playoff-ready team. So I agree. I think Chicago's dangerous.
Out in the Western Conference, I'm going to go with the El Paso Peppers. I think losing DeAndre Ayton all season long really hit them hard.
Yeah.
And obviously with James Harden being awesome, they're going to have a chance. Now, this was a tough pick for me, especially because Luka Doncic out in Kansas City plus Ja Morant have gotten an overall boost because of the 2K roster update. They were pretty much going to be my second pick. Really debating on making them my first pick, but I don't know. I can't really go against James Harden and DeAndre Ayton as those 1-2 punch right there.
With Hayward.
With
Kobe
Hayward.
White is getting better.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Peppers. I think that offense is just really too much to handle. And of course, like I said, with Ayton coming back and hopefully being healthy, it's gonna be a team to watch out for sure.
Well, it wouldn't be an XBA video without talking about the jump and the arrows. But let's just really quickly take a look at these teams here. Steph Curry with Seth Curry. Shooting guard, we had Forbes. We drafted Forbes. Talked about it. I'm going to start him off in Alabama for a few games. See how he does down there. See if he's ready for the limelight. We do have Seth Curry and Alexander Walker and the veteran Langston Galloway. We're showing veteran favoritism by keeping Langston Galloway on the roster. But, our team, I think the jump should be fairly competitive in the Eastern Conference. I mean, we got in on the skin of our teeth, rode Curry to the finals, fell short, but we'll see if this year we can get over that hump and get the W this time. But I don't like our chances. I'm gonna pick us to miss the playoffs this year.
Hey, it's a lot to ask for. It's a lot to ask for, especially in a tight Eastern Conference. For the St. Louis Arrows, we were tied for the best team in the West last season during the regular season, after, of course, we acquired the services of Jamal Crawford in a trade. However, that was last year. This is a new year. So how do we stack up against everybody out in the West? You would think, Gold, why didn't you take your own St. Louis Arrows team to be representatives for the Western Conference in the XBA Finals? Well, I think really with Mo Bamba getting an upgrade, you would think that this team is very deep in its starting five in order to do that. But I think we just are still missing a piece to this team, which is perimeter shooting.
I'd agree with that.
Yep.
I mean, you got Jamal Crawford is somehow still playing. I was shocked that he did not volunteer to retire this offseason. I thought he was done.
To retire.
He wasn't one of the guys that was set to retire. It was shocking. But at his age, he's going to come back for another piece, another bite at the apple here. I guess I'm just going to roll with the Bandits as my shock team this year. I was leaning towards them or Kentucky, but I'm going to roll with Wisconsin because I'm looking at Jaylen Brown getting better, and then Boucher moving to power forward. His stats now bump up to an 81. I think Boucher is going to be amazing for this team.
Yeah, this is kind of a scary team now that I look at it a little bit closer. When you got Joel Embiid, and then Jaylen Brown, and then Boucher, and then Covington's pretty good too.
Rozier's coming.
And Rozier's 78 overall. Like this,
Brunson's playing pretty good too.
Yeah, Larry Nance. I mean, this is a pretty deep team. I'm actually surprised that. Oh, there's Matthew Jennings from Gonzaga. I love Matthew Jennings. And then we got Seager, who's down in Iowa. Yeah, I mean, this team could make some interesting headlines in the XBA year 2. This was a tough call for me. I really wanted to go after the Vancouver Vortex as my surprise team for the XBA in year 2, but I'm going to go with the Columbus Basket Hounds. When we look at the fact that this team was able to acquire the services of Kendrick Nunn, RJ Barrett got a little bit of a boost, Zion being 85, Montrezl Harrell, like this is a pretty solid core of players, and even Tyler Hero at the bench.
Still young, Stuart Hero, and Dotson's not old, so yeah, they got Josh Beaver down there as well.
Yeah, good old Josh Beaver. I think this offense is going to take off this year, and now that Zion's up to an 85, like You feed your offense through him, they're going to be good on defense. They're going to be good with offense. Oof. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily view and see what games that we are going to show you guys for the very first episode of year number 2. Take it away.
We got a barn burner in Texas. Dallas Barons, Houston Lawmen, 2 of the worst teams in the Western Conference last year. We're looking to turn things around. You got Phoenix and New Orleans. New Orleans had a disappointing exit in the first round. Phoenix only missed by not very much, so they're hoping to get back in. And then you got resurgent BC Chicago going on the road to take on the champs. So that's big. This will be a big tip-off video for you guys. And then the following day, we will have way more games. We're going to have a lot.
It's going to be like, I don't even have a word for it, guys. It's going to be an extravaganza. XBA extravaganza.
Yeah, you guys will be able to get to see every team in the following episode, which will be the following day. So
yeah, we'll have a kickoff, which will focus on these 3 games here. And then we will get into the bigger part of XBA gameplay in the next episode.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, guys, so that's going to be it for the off-season finale video. Leave a like if you like this thing, and again, let us know who you got. Who's your surprising team? Who's your Western Conference champ? Who's your Eastern Conference champ? Who's your XBA Year 2 champ? And we will see you guys in the next episode. By the way, Year 2 form for the contest is now open. Please go check out the pinned comment and the description below and make your picks, guys, because those will lock prior to this episode here. Plus, the form will also cover these games here, and that will be the form, the contest for week 1 of XBA Year 2.
Winner gets automatic prospect. So no more cumulative the way we did it last year. It's kind of hard for everybody to keep track and follow along long term. So if you guys win, you guys get a prospect.
You guys will get that prospect for sure. That will be what the golden ticket is worth. That'll be what that golden ticket's worth. So we will keep track of the winners throughout the season, and we're only awarding 1 prize per week.
And this would be for season 3, by the way.
Yes, because Year 2 prospects have already been chosen. We will reveal those at a later date because they're still being created. We want to be able to show you guys on screen your players that have been created. 200, 200, we're probably not going to show all 200, but we'll show guys that catch our eyes. We'll have a list for you guys as well. That video coming sooner down the line. So like I said, guys, leave a like if you like this thing, and we will see you for finally Year 2 XBA action. As always, peace.